You're listening to Ernestly Speaking, the only weekly podcast that covers friends, foes, and anything that goes. And now, for your badass host, Ernest Owens. And we're back for another episode of Ernestly Speaking with your host, Ernest Owens, myself. This weekend was everything. Like, I am still on cloud nine. It was just epic. It was epic. And I knew it was going to be, something fabulous, but I was not expecting the amount of just pure joy that I got from a very long and roller coaster week. Like, in all the good ways. I mean, the election, all the other events that led up to the after the election, the gala, after the gala, it was so awesome. Shout out to all of you who came out. I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll start with just, the gala itself. So the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists had our annual gala awards. This year it was at the Museum of the American Revolution, and it was just so fabulous. It was just an incredible experience. As I'm recording this podcast, have in my hand my Journalist of the Year award, which just was just awesome. I've never won, and it just was just such a great moment. It was the perfect venue. It was the perfect time, the perfect space. The last time I won an award from the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists was in 2016, so 7 years ago. So 7 is my lucky number, it seems like. It is my lucky number. I have a lot of things, 7 things. And I'm like, when Ariana Grande was talking about 7 rings, I was like, girl, I can relate, okay? I can relate. But it felt good. I just felt like everybody in that room was just so proud of me and happy for me. It just felt like everyone was like, hell yeah, you deserve that. I was like, thank you. Thank you. It just was the people, just the, it was the folks in the room, but just all over the internet, social media, so many people just showing love. I feel like Susan Lucci. I can't describe it. I was, people know the years that, I was denied, or I had some people say snubbed. And, it's just cool when it's cool when the right person wins. I'll say that. It just feels good when the right person wins. And, for folks who are not in Philadelphia, it's like if Beyonce ever wins album of the year and you're just kind of like, it's about damn time. That's the feeling that I think a lot of people felt, including myself. I really did not think it was going to happen. I don't know what more could I have been able to do. But, when it's your time, it is truly your time. And this year, I kept looking and I was like, I don't see an alternative. I don't see personally an alternative. So when the news came and it happened, I felt good. I gave the speech I've always wanted to give and said the things that I need to say. And it was just awesome to be in the room with everybody that I wanted there. My mom was there. My brother was there. Of course, my husband, all of my friends was there. Like, all of my best friends were there. It was just a perfect night. It was just a perfect event. Yuki Washington was the MC. Like, he introduces me. I'm just like, what? It just couldn't have been better. I mean, everyone came out. Patty Jackson was there. The incredible, incomparable Natasha Brown, who won Lifetime Achievement. Janine Cook from Harriet's had won the Community Service Award. Council member at large Isaiah Thomas was there. Council member Anthony Phillips was there. There were so many people. My goodness, I'm trying to think of everyone I can remember. It was so many folks, like all of my friends, everybody was there. Oh, goodness. Dr. Parks, Joe, Lauren, Sharon, the Lit brothers, of course. Um, Laura was there. Kelly was there with her husband. Kelly and Brian Mirbot was awesome. They always come out looking good too. My goodness. All my folks from Cashman. Um, Candace was there. Ah, she was gorgeous. She had a good time. I was so happy to see her. She came out. Um, Everyone was there. Everybody showed up. It was fabulous. I'm still just, feeling light and feeling good. It just feels good to just see other people celebrate you and rejoice and everything. It was just a beautiful event. We raised so much money for the organization. There were several big announcements throughout the night. One of which is that, our big 50th anniversary celebrations next year. It's going to be on Saturday, November 9th. And it's going to be epic. Also, a big deal is that we announced that for the 50th year, for entire year, Black professionals and journalists, there will be no membership fees. There will be no membership fees. We are not charging Black professionals and journalists in this region to be a member of PABJ. So, to everybody who was wondering what can they do? How can they be a member? How can they show up? Is it hard? Yada, yada, yada. All you have to do is go to thepabj.org and apply on our website. Our membership chair, board secretary will review the application. And if you're eligible and you hit all the marks, you will be a proud member of the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists. You'll be able to come to our meetings. You'll be able to get exclusive invitations to our various events and parties and all those great things. And you're going to have a good time. So it is free from now until the end of next year. Take full advantage of being a proud member of the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists. Check out our website, thepabj.org. So that was another announcement. Another big announcement is that we're going to be doing media access events, workshops at a bigger capacity next year. We do media access here in Philadelphia every year. It's a nice little event. We're doing it this year at Philadelphia Community Access Media in December, but we're going to be kicking it up a notch, doing even bolder programming and all of that jazz. So stay tuned for that. We also announced the podcast. PABJ is having its own podcast. I'm not the host. I'm the executive producer. It is called Black Voices Matter Podcast, and it's hosted by two of my board members and good friends, Manny Smith and Kamari Ellis. They are going to be doing the podcast. It's really thought-provoking. I got a chance to, of course, listen to the first episode, and it's just fun. It's not Ernestly speaking. These are two, Black bald men in their 40s with a podcast, but the best Black bald middle-aged male podcast you've ever heard. Okay, it is not the Joe Budden show. Thank God, it is not Wallow and Gilly. Okay, these are two Black men, a journalist, a media professional. These are two fathers, two husbands, talking about how media has impacted their lives and what they think for the future. It's a very different type of podcast, and I'm proud to be the executive producer and to support it. To see these two minds go together and to talk out the issues in a different perspective. The funny part is they're both from Uptown, I believe. They're both from like that Uptown area, Mount Pleasant, all Germantown, all that. So it's going to be, it's very interesting to see what they think about the world and Philly and things. So it's fun. I just heard the first episode. I believe it's coming out very, very soon. Once it goes live, I believe, if it's not live already, you might be able to catch it some places, but once it goes live, check it out. It's called the Black Voices Matter podcast. So check that out. And then our last big announcement. So what's the announcement? The 50th anniversary, media access increasing, the podcast, free memberships. The fifth and final one was we got some more money, y'all. We received a $50,000 grant from the Linfest Institute and a $25,000 grant from the Independence Public Media Foundation. So that was pretty dope, okay? And our gala this year was the highest raising it's ever been in its history at $85K. Yes, it was a big year of service. I was so happy. I was, so grateful, you know, for all of the love and all of the people that showed up and just stood beside me. Congratulations to the scholarship honorees. It was fabulous. Yeah, I'm just so overcome by all the people that just show love and support and just the vibe. I mean, it was a perfect event. Everyone came out. I'm just so touched, you know. I'm so used to throwing awards and things to everybody else. I couldn't even help myself. I was giving out, at the end of the night, gave out President's Awards to people in the community and people in my own organization who stepped up and gave service. And so it was a pleasure to see those people be surprised and felt loved. And it was just a great room. My barber was there, his wife. It was, it was just awesome. It was awesome. It was great to see people I mentored there and people that I look up to and so many great legends, but also my mentees and stuff. So Dean Millard was there. Of course, he won this year's scholar. He was one of the scholarship recipients, and Jamil Q. Duncan, who's also one of my favorite people. He also won the scholarship last year. So it's just a full circle moment to see my people just accelerate and to be able to thank them on stage and just give the speech I wanted to give and say the things I wanted to say. Yeah, it was awesome. What did I wear? Because people's been asking that question all weekend. My shoes, they were designed at Saks Fifth Avenue, those shoes. Those shoes are from Saks Fifth, and they were designed. And I got them over the summer. And it was before I even knew I was winning. But I said, those shoes I have to save for a very important night. Like, it's always, like, I don't even know, you can never find those shoes. But, like, when I found them, I looked at them, and they fit me. I felt like Cinderella. I was like, the slipper fits, but I got to save these. Like, I was like, oh, I can wear for my birthday. I'm like, my birthday's cool. That's special. But I was like, I got to save these for a very special moment. There are shoes that I still have for moments in my life that I'll never forget. They tell the story themselves. There's just certain shoes pairs of shoes. I love me a good stunner shoe. There is a pair of shoes. There's a shoes that I went to go see. I interviewed Oprah, and they're these blue shoes. They're suede, but they're embroidered, and I kept them. I can still fit them. I haven't worn them since Oprah. I need to pull them out, though, because they're cute, and I need to wear them again. But I never forget those shoes. Those are iconic shoes. My wedding shoes, my blue suede wedding shoes, which were nice. And they're dark navy. But these shoes, I was like, I want to wear them for a important night. So when I thought I was winning Journalist of the Year, I made it a point to pull them out. I was like, I got to wear these babies. I got to pull these. This is the night. It's right. My tuxedo was from Vera Wang. Okay, it's a Vera Wang tuxedo. It is the dapper. It is black. I had a champagne gold vest and tie to go silk to go with it. But that number right there, that was a Vera Wang tux, and it fit me like a glove. Okay, it was love. First time I wore it, had to do the measurements, had to do all that. Shout out to all the folks that do alterations because I'm not easy. Listen, okay. I was like, I want to come in black. They was like, oh, it's a very safe. I said, oh, no. It's the shoes. The shoes are going to set it off. And I looked like a winner. I said, this is how a winner dress. I couldn't cut no corners. I pulled out the full tux, the full shoes. It was definitely my night. I was like, I'm going to be the best looking guy. Now, the women in fashion at the gala, the women came out. Okay, you're going to see pictures if you haven't already. The outfits were just stunning. My mom was gorgeous. She had a nice, lovely dress. Abby, she killed it. Oh my gosh, my friend Sharon killed it. me and Joe was talking about, like a lot of the women who were there, that were single, they were definitely dressing single, and like they were trying to get chose. They wanted to definitely, walk away with a trophy or a number, for sure. But speaking of dresses, Dr. Parks had a very lovely dress on, but definitely made sure she, kept her Joe right beside her. We did it, Joe. We did it. No numbers were given. People kept it classy. And, you know, we did it, Joe. We did it. But, but no, it was a lovely night. Everyone was just fabulous. It was so much. The bar was open. Shout out to Uncle Nearest. There was Uncle Nearest private tasting and specialty cocktails that was made over there. They really had a nice booth and setup that was super dope. Like I really loved how Uncle Nearest really showed up and showed out and did their thing. People really loved that tasting and got a good sip of that good Uncle Nearest whiskey, Black owned. It was dope. The open bar was open barring. We had two open bars at the front and the back. The appetizers, all the food was being passed around. It wasn't chaos. It wasn't, folks feeling like they couldn't get a bite to eat. It was a good night. People really was having a good time. And we got to just leave and not have to do any cleanup and things. Shout out to the Museum of the American Revolution. We opened up the exhibit for the Forum Family exhibit, the Black History exhibit that is in its last couple of days before it closes. But they opened up to the public so people got to walk and try and check it out. It was a dope ass gala. I am still on cloud nine. It was incredible. So just thank you all for just continuing to rock with me, support all the great work that we're doing. What I'll say about, this, because I do have to take a moment of shade, not at the event, but just, at other folks who had their lamb chops. I believe in divine intervention. I do believe in karma. And, I don't do any things I do for vengeance, but vengeance is still mine regardless. I just, I people for a couple of weeks was like, what is PBJ gonna do to respond to all the other groups and this and this and this and this? And, I told my team, I was like, very much like, hey, listen, the gala is gonna be that answer. We're gonna show people better we can tell them. I don't think anyone walked out that room this weekend at that gala confused about what we were doing, who we are, what we do, and what we're about. Period. There's no confusion. And, as I've said consistently, and I'll continue to say, there's only one PABJ. And that message came across. And people knew that. There's only one. And I put my one finger up because there's only one. Period. And it felt you can't create that. People get worried every time there's these presumed threats. I always tell people, when you've built a legacy, when you've built a reputation, that is strong, that is principled, that's sustainable. Anybody just can't walk up in and shake it. They can think they can, right? Anybody can think, right? Anybody can have an opinion. Anybody can have an idea. But execution, I've learned over the years, is always the answer. Execution, credibility, that's the answer. People can talk and go in circles, but they will always, the cream always rises to the top. The truth always reveals itself. When you're doing things with good intentions, pure intentions, that will always be the answer, And so that's how I lead, and it shows. The event, all those pictures, all the joy, all the excitement that you all saw in that room, that's the work. That's the answer. And I told my team that. I told everybody, I said, that's how we respond. We don't respond by actually responding. We actually just continue to do what we do with the magnitude that we do, to the point where people will be like, who, what, where? And I'm at a point where I'm not giving them no free press. You got to earn that, baby. You got to earn it. People ask me what it is. I say, who, what? Oh, I don't know about that. If you already know about it, then don't ask me about it, because I'm not the spokesperson for them. They gotta earn their press, baby. You're not about to ride off of my platform. You're not about to ride off of the work of all these incredible Black journalists that have been doing the real work for years. You got to figure it out. You know, you the one who did what you did, right? And I tell people that, like, people always want folks to respond, but they want relevance. I get why Beyonce don't do interviews anymore. I'm going to do interviews. Let me clarify. I do interviews, but I understand why Beyonce stopped doing interviews, because at a certain point, the answer is in the work. You know how she feels. You know where she's going. You know what she thinks. If you listen to her album, if you go to her tour, if you go watch her upcoming tour. I wish I could say visuals, but we're going to just let that go for now. But we still want the visuals, Beyonce. But like, she doesn't have to respond because the work is the response. And that's what I'm learning. Like, I'm not going to keep repeating myself because the work is the answer. The work is the answer. It is what you do. That will be the response. You don't have to, I'm not going to over-explain anymore. I'm not going to over-communicate anymore. I'm just going to just keep doing this great work. And anybody who's confused, they don't get it, maybe they just don't want to get it. You ever thought about that? There are some people that choose to be a contrarian in life. There are some people that choose to think obtuse in life. There are some people that, for the life of them, want to believe what they want to believe, and they just want you to assuage their guilt. Well, I'm not in the business of assuaging guilt. I'm in the business of doing me, living my best life, and advancing the cause the best way that I can. That's what I can do. That's what we should be doing. And that's the move. You know, after this week, I feel like that's okay. Mic drop, right? So I'm really touched and super excited. So my mom was in town this weekend. She had a ball in Philly. Okay? She had a ball. We did a lot. We had a time. I showed off. She had a fabulous time. She stayed at the at Casino Live, the live casino. You know, and we went out. We hit the street. She was here Thursday. You know, she left Monday morning. But we went out. So first of all, I took her to the first place. The moment she got off the plane, she dropped her stuff off, and I took her to the Philadelphia Museum of Art. We went to the restaurant Stir, and that's a restaurant and museum that is incredible. Talk about a museum restaurant. Y'all, Stir is not, first of all, Stir is not the kind of, it's not just like the typical, museum restaurant, you get sandwiches and a little juice. This is a real restaurant, like a real restaurant. And it was really good. And they have a Korean chef that's there. And right now there is a Korean exhibition inside of the museum. And there is a shape, it's called The Shape of Heart, I believe it's called. And it was a tasting menu. It was like a 5-course tasting menu that we did that was with Korean dishes. I mean, caviar and kimchi and all the treats. It was a delicious dinner. It was so fun. It wasn't dinner, I'm sorry, it was lunch, but it was a 5-course. It was $80 per person if you're interested in going. I highly recommend it. The chef was outstanding. And I got to give him a shout out because he was so nice to my family, and just was the dopest dude ever. So he's the executive chef. His name is Hoon Ri, and it was a Korean-inspired tasting menu. It's called The Shape of Time. Correction, The Shape of Time. The exhibit is called The Shape of Time, Korean Art After 1989. It was a fabulous exhibit, but the tasting menu that was 5-course, it was called Shape of Time. That's the name of the course, the course tasting. And it was delicious. I mean, we had so much fun eating that food. I mean, so many cultural moments. We had a really great sake. I think it was sake. It was good. It was real good, though. We had octopus. We had caviar, like I said. It was just fun treats, but she loved it. She had a good time. She really enjoyed herself. After that, on Thursday, we went to Whiskey Fest. Philadelphia Magazine had Whiskey Fest at the Fillmore. If you was at Whiskey Fest, you knew how lit it was. Normally it's at the Link, but a lot has been going on with the Link because of the Eagles and everything. And so this year we had it at the Fillmore, and Fillmore was popping. I've been to the Fillmore multiple times, but I've never been to the Fillmore for an event like that. It was so subversive and innovative. It was super dope. Shout out to the entire Philly Mags events team who was there. I joined, I helped a little bit out. I was part of the event staff at the beginning of the event because I really wanted to just like really see it work. They worked so hard putting that event together, and it's like I would say next to Best of Philly. But honestly, I feel like Best of Philly is so cliche to say because Philly Mag does always a great Best of Philly. I have to say this might be my favorite Philly Mag event. It's one of my favorite. It is so diverse. It is super black because we love us some brown liquor. People were just like, I don't think people realize, like, I think people sometimes think Philly Mag events are like super, like, very, very stuffy, whatever. You guys confuse the Philly style. No shame, I'm joking. No, this event is just such a dope event. And people really, like, it was packed. It was packed. I don't know if you all saw my videos, but it was lit. It was lit. Folks love Whiskey Fest. Okay. And for those who've never been, you need to go because let me say this: Whiskey Fest is not just whiskey. There's other spirits. We had Aperol Spritz, Campari was there, Patron was there. I tried the brand new Patron that's about to hit the market. It's a new upper level exclusive bottle that is going to be on the market that they sampled for the first time. This product before it came out to the market here at Whiskey Fest at the Fillmore, and people lost their minds. There was these specialty cocktails they made with these Patron plastic bottle drinks and straws. That was one of the standout drinks tonight. Uncle Nearest whiskey was there. Wild Turkey was there. And let me tell you about Wild Turkey whiskey, right? So the night before, I got to hang out with their national ambassador, who was a descendant from the Wild Turkey family. Her name is Joanne Street. She was dope. We had dinner. So the night before, on Wednesday night, I was invited to an exclusive Wild Turkey whiskey tasting that was held at Bank and Bourbon. It was a private event, and I was proud to be there. I was the only actual journalist there, and everyone else who was there was from the liquor industry, distributors and promoters and bartenders, and it was a very, very private, intimate dinner. But I was so honored that Bank and Bourbon, especially specifically Wild Turkey, had invited me to that event. I'm not much of a whiskey drinker, as you all know, but listen, when you're invited by some of the best, you got to have a sip. They have this whiskey brand called Russell's, and I tried various first of all, listen, I don't know anything. I know a little bit about whiskey. My husband is into bourbon and whiskey and stuff. But listen, I don't know what I was sipping. It was cool. It was fun. It was dope. I remember it was like cast reserves and special exclusive reserve stuff that you can't find anywhere else. And I was sipping this stuff, y'all. And at some point, I felt like all of them taste the same, but not really though, because there was some stronger than others. But I feel like it was some really dope shit because I feel like the people that was in there were shaking their head and smelling it and liking it and loving it. And anybody who likes whiskey, I feel like y'all would have felt the same. But I was so happy and proud to be there, and it was a really great tasting. And the food. Okay, I love the food. It was a Nashville like themed food. It was like Nashville hot chicken, which I don't know. Bank and Bourbon is at the Lowe's. It's at the Lowe's. They have lots of whiskey events, but they also have a restaurant and a great happy hour bar vibe. Let me tell y'all something. Whoever made that hot chicken at Bacon Bourbon, y'all had to put that on the menu. That was some of the best fried chicken I have had in Philadelphia, period. Like, I just want to put that I want to speak that. I need to speak on that. It was the best fried chicken I've had in Philadelphia in a long time. Since Relish, RIP Relish. But that chicken was fire. Okay, they even had the catfish, and that even had they did a rendition of a Nashville hot catfish. Oh my God, it was great. It was served with grit. It was like grits and collard greens. They did a good job. They did a really good job. The food was memorable as hell. Afterwards, we went to the Ramstead room, which was incredible. The bartender named Nico made us his daiquiris, and I have to say, his daiquiris are incredible. They are wonderful. They're tropical. They're thoughtful. He double strains them. I didn't even know you could do all those wonderful things with daiquiris. But if you haven't been to the Ramstead room, it's really hard to get in there. But he got us there. He was part of the team that I had the lovely dinner with and tasting. And he took us there, let us try his daiquiris. He has a daiquiri there on the menu called the Porn Star Daiquiri. It's the best daiquiri I've ever had in my life. and let Nico know that for those who go to Ramstead Room that know that place, it's in Center City. It's Steven Starr owned. But the bartenders and the team there, they have this autonomy there that I didn't even realize was Steven Starr, to be honest, because Steven Starr loves to put his little signature on everything in a good way. Like a Steven Starr production, you see one, but Ramstead Room has its own unique like feel and vibe that's very different from the rest of the Steven Starr collection. So I was very impressed. And Nico's doing an outstanding bar program there, and there's so many fun drinks. That's a place if you really want to get some fun cocktails. And this past week, at Eater Philly, we did all the great. We really I wanted to call it Liquor Week because everything we did last week was centered around liquor and drinking. So we had like the 15 best essential bars in Philadelphia. That list got updated by yours truly. We updated the list so that everybody know what was great. We did the 15 places you could get a good damn cocktail. Because let me be very clear, not all bars are the same place you can get a good cocktail. Okay, some bars are good for beer, right? And it's great to get a good beer and have a good time. Some places make cocktails, like they make specifically are known for their cocktails. And so my list really made those distinctions, And so check that out on Eater Philly. It's super dope. If you have not subscribed to our newsletter, do that ASAP. And you can do that easily by going to to Eater Philly, but you could go to my page on link in bio and click the Eater to get the newsletter so you can keep in touch. So you have to hear me. You can just get it every Friday. The newsletter comes out every Friday around the afternoon time. And it is an awesome way to know what's going on in food. And most of the content is curated by myself and my incredible team of outstanding contributors like my good friend Gio contributes and other folks in the industry that really writes great pieces. So I love being the proud editor of Eater Philly. And we have so many great things coming up. We got some really, really great surprises coming up. Y'all are not ready, but I just wanted to just make that plug. But it was like Liquor Week over here. Whiskey Fest happened. We did a list of BYOBs. That was very controversial. A lot of people shook by my 15 favorite BYOBs in Philly, but also what I believe are the best. There are so many BYOBs. There's some that just didn't fit the list, and it's not because they're horrible. It's just because it's so many good damn ones. And also, the list is important that it's about diversifying. People want to tell you about every single Italian restaurant. I could literally do an Italian BYOB list by itself. I might actually do it, depending on what goes down. I might just do a top list of Italian BYOBs because I had to sit there and had to choose. But one I could not change my mind on was Mano. You just can't do that. That's a classic. But what I could not change my heart on, change my back on, was Giorgio Pine. That was on this year's list. It was never on the list in the past, but this was a new entry by your new editor. I just was like, how is Giorgio Pine not on this list? This is an institution, okay? Not just me, but you don't have to hear from me. But anybody who's ever been on Pine Street or Midtown Village knows that Giorgio Pine is an institution. And R.I.P. to Boccosini that was right next door, Crystal Fox. She's no longer in Philadelphia no more, but she just recently got married. She's one of my favorite chefs. When she was in Philly, she's an incredible person, and her cooking skills are unmatched. She's incredible, and she had Boccosini, and I love that place down. I love Boccosini, man. See, you want to talk about restaurant losses. I'm saying this because I just put out an editorial if you can check it out this week, just came out, go on Eater Philly. I talk about restaurant closings and the recent rise and uptick in restaurant closings. A lot of major restaurants are closing, y'all. Which are some of them? Evie. I don't know if you heard about Evie. They just got unionized a couple months ago. They are a pizzeria / bakery. They're closing. Weckley's Ice Cream. And y'all remember I used to talk about Weckley. That was my guilty pleasure. I used to go get the ice cream bars at Mariposa back in the day. But I used to always love me some Weckley's ice cream sandwiches. They are shutting down this year. Little Pop Shop. Do y'all remember Little Pop Shop? I know y'all listen, Little Pop Shop is closing down, y'all. Like, this is serious. We lost Relish this year. The City Tap House in University City, gone. The Wishbone in University City, gone. Not really missing that one as much, but I get it. A lot of them are leaving. A lot of restaurants have been closing lately. And to me, it's like, it feels like we're back at where we were during the beginning of the pandemic when a lot of restaurants closed down. But like, there's been a lot of new restaurants coming, but new ones are coming and old ones are going. It's a lot. And I just wrote a piece about just what I feel like diners need to do to keep these restaurants afloat. We got to step it up to the folks that love restaurants, to the people that want to keep certain restaurants. Your fave is hurting out here. It is not easy. Okay, not every restaurant is a Zahav, right? Where it's going to have an abundance of reservations and hard to get in access, right? Not every restaurant is like my fave Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They don't have any problems getting reservations right now. But some of these other restaurants that we sleep on, the ones who don't get the James Beard recognition, that don't get, those types of acclaims, those restaurants need your patronage. They need not only your patronage, they need your support, okay? And I write really extensively about how all of these restaurants need our support and how we need to show up for them and really do our thing. So I just want to put that out there because it's important. But nonetheless, Whiskey Fest was a big smash hit. Afterwards, because it's the Fillmore, where I went next door to have my little after party. Of course, Philadelphia Distilling, my favorite bar. Philadelphia Distilling was dope. And then after that, all of my friends, like my PABJ leadership team, we all had a good time. We then went to the casino, went to Rivers, and actually Mr. Johnson won a little something, something. Look, I was like, we only gonna put $40. And we walked away and we won like around, like 250 we won. So we made the money back. And then some. I don't really gamble. I don't know how to. But he's pretty good. He's pretty good. It's fun. Like I got $40 on it. That's what I'm gonna put. Let's see. Let's just see. He turned $40 to 250. Now my mother, she knows casinos and she's a high roller and she won. She did pretty good. She played, I think, blackjack or something, but she was killing it. But all my other friends, they just lost. They just lost. But they have fun though. They had a good time. But the gala was so dope. Shout out to Brittany Coleman, my good favorite, one of my faves, a good Libra woman, who just produced the awards this year. She was the executive producer of the gala and she killed it. And yeah, she's just the best. I just thought of her just now. But yeah, so that was awesome. We also had a reception the day before the gala, Friday night at Steak 48. Y'all, I haven't been to Steak 48 in a minute because I've just been so busy going everywhere else around town. But the incredible, incomparable Nicole Cashman of Cashman Associates threw it for me a nice pre-reception. We had dinner and I had it with the Lip Brothers and my mom and my husband. It was a beautiful dinner. We ate everything. You all saw how we did at Steak 48. The pictures tell it all. Oh my God, we had a blast. Steak 48 was on fire. We had the seafood tower. We had caviar. We had filet mignon. Bone-in filet mignon, by the way. Bone-in. I was shocked. I was like, wow. It was Steak 48. Listen, I went to the grand opening when it first came to Philly a couple years ago during the pandemic. And I really wasn't trying to go out and dine. But they were so on point when I went that it was awesome. But Steak 48 is just, listen, it is top tier, baby. It is top tier. I forgot how, man, it ain't no Del Frisco's, okay? It is not Capitol Grill. It's not Morton's. I know people been bashing Cheesecake Factory, so I'm not even gonna put that in the conversation. Butcher and Singer is cool, but baby, some Steak 48. Steak 48 is just, Y'all love y'all some Eddie V's out here, y'all, but Steak 48, that's immaculate right there. That's immaculate. The dessert, that triple key lime pie, woo. We had the beignet tree. Yeah. I know people be talking, and let me tell you something. That Steak 48 was no joke. It was a lovely, lovely night. My boys, my Lip Brothers, got me my bracelet. It's a black Swarovski crystal bracelet that I wore to the gala alongside my Tiffany piece. We got lovely gifts. Nicole's husband, Nigel, has a sock brand. And I haven't seen some doper socks since, but these socks that we got, he gave us a bunch of pairs and they were incredible. I wore one of the pairs of the socks to the gala. So when y'all see those socks, those are Nigel socks, her husband who designed them. When you see me rocking, shoes, y'all saw the crazy sock game. Those are his socks that he designed. And they are exceptional. They're an incredible sock. But shout out to the whole team. Shout out to everybody from Cashman. They just been rocking with me from the very beginning, and just saw that vision. It's always great when people can see you can build a relationship long enough where you can build a journey and people can see you and everybody. She's just a great person. Yeah, so it's Steak 48 for brunch after the gala. Okay, the next day we went to. We hit the streets. Mom was in town, and I was like, Mom, gotta have a ball. I wanted to show her. I was like, Mom, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since she's come to Philly and really have come to Philly. Like she came to Philly earlier this year for the book signing, but it was like in and out. It was really quick, and there was so much going on that we had fun, but this just felt different. Like she really took off and really. We got to really, really hit the streets. Like we really was able to go out and do some things. And so we did a lot of cool things. I wanted her to see me in this new element. And it was awesome. So we went to Toast Cafe, the Black owned Toast Cafe in West Philly, around Baltimore Avenue. It's by Jayla Roche is her name. She is an incredible Black woman owner, and she owns Toast Cafe, an incredible place to get brunch. The oxtail and grits is the standout. Now, they have great French toast. They have some really cool brunch drinks, too. For those who like to have different types of brunch drinks, like fun, flirty cocktails, or, okay, you want to go from flirty cocktail, you want to have, something called cafe connected. This is the spot. Really fun, very intimate space. Make reservations. We happy we did. It was a family affair. We had a good old time. Okay, we had a good old time at Toast Cafe. I feel like I'm a script. Like we always go to brunch at the same places. Like I always go to Booker's, and I was like, I still want a Black owned spot. I want to do something fun. But I was like, we always go to Booker's, and Booker's is always doing great and always a fabulous time. But I want to mix it up, and so Toast Cafe just was that fun opportunity to just go out and have a good time. It was fabulous. And then last but not least, we had our lovely final dinner. As a group, we had it at the Prime Rib at Casino Live. One, because it was connected to the hotel, and she just was like, I need to go here. My mom loves a good steakhouse, y'all. We from Texas, so I mean, so like her most experimental meal, to be honest, was when I took her to Stir. I knew that like she likes to experiment with dining, but she is a classics. Take her to a really fine Italian restaurant, a good steakhouse, and that's all that matters. But me, I'm a little experimental. I'm like Italian. I love Italian food like the next person. But I was like, I want to go somewhere different. I want to go to get Indian food from somewhere, something that I'm always wanting to go outside the box. So it was fun to be able to, we did the Korean and I got her to do a Korean menu that she didn't even know she was going to have. And so that was all she went. But when we went to Prime Rib, of course we had steak, seafood. That's her element, And Prime Rib is also great. I remember when Prime Rib used to be in Rittenhouse. But this Prime Rib that's at Casino Live is such an upgrade in my opinion. It's like higher ceilings. The seating is more intimate. It's just a very different type of vibe. A very different type of vibe in a good way. And they had the Millionaire's Martini. They had the drinks. Shout out to the general manager there, good brother, who just was just dope. It was nice. It was a fabulous time. But yeah, it was great. Loved it all. Loved everybody. So happy. And I went to sleep with my lovely, lovely trophy of the night. When I won, I was teasing my little brother who came, and I put it right next to me, and I slept with it. And it was so cute. His girlfriend came to the after party. We had an after party. Oh, we had an after party. Mr. Johnson, Bartender Berry, made an incredible lavender lemonade with vodka. We had all our other spirits out. We shot to Blue Coat. We had the Blue Coat in the building. It was a great after party. It was in this great suite. We got a suite at the Westin, and it was fabulous. Oh my goodness, that after party was lit. We had a lovely charcuterie board from the Bruno brothers. When I tell you that charcuterie board was enough to feed these hungry folks and soak up some of this liquor, as my bestie Jamarcus will say, it was fabulous. It was oh, so many great cheeses. We had olive stuffed with provolone. We had all the different spreads. We had chocolate covered figs. It was a really great charcuterie board. Let me just say it was a great charcuterie board. And the people through this after party, this suite, shout out to y'all. I mean, the Westin was gorgeous. It was a lovely hotel. I was like, oh my goodness, it's crept up away. Not the W. We was at the Westin. This is in the Westin. It's inside. It is inside Liberty Place, and it is grand. It is grand. So I just shout out to Weston, shout out to the Weston for just showing up and showing out and showing love. Really appreciate y'all. Y'all the best of the best, and just love y'all. This year's gala is going. Next year's gala, I mean, this year's gala is gonna go out in history, but next year's gala is the 50th is gonna be epic, like epic. I'm gonna say it again, epic. It's gonna kill. It's gonna eat. So I just want y'all to know it's coming. It's coming. Yeah. I love that sweet party. Ooh, that was a party, man. So much fun. So I was saying my brother's girlfriend came, and I asked her if she liked the lobster. We asked me leftovers from Steak 48 that there was I think it was called chicken fried lobster tails, and she loves lobster. She loves lobster so much that she almost lost her boo over some lobster. No, I'm joking. But she really, yeah, she really had a good time. But she was so fabulous. And she did my mom's makeup, which is cool. I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know that. But yeah, it was fabulous. But my mom had a really good time. Everyone was having a good time. And yes, that is my mother. She is of age. People have been asking questions. How old is she? How old is she? She is, how do I say this in a mathematical way without saying? We are 20 years apart. That's what I'll say. We're 20 years apart. You can do the math in your head. And you're like, get out. Listen, black don't crack if you maintain it. If you maintain it, it don't crack. Y'all saw my skin glowing. Let me just give a shout out to my people, my esthetician real quick. Shout out to Hand and Stone. The reason why my face looked like that is because I got a facial. Okay, no makeup. There was no makeup on me. I got a facial at Hand and Stone. And they, that maintain, man. They gave me that great vitamin C, that glow, that derma. It was like the derma frame, they call it or whatever. But they did some great work. Okay, the facial was facialing. The skin was glowing. The glow was there. The joy was there, and it was real. Okay, the facial cost, but the glow was free, baby. The glow was real. I felt it. Y'all felt it. It was beautiful. So, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say, yeah. So, Eater, okay. Eater, the national publication, which I'm proud to be the Eater Philly editor, we announced our best new restaurants in America. And there was a unprecedented thing that happened. 2, not 1, but 2 restaurants from the same city was on the list. Only one city had 2 restaurants. And that city was Philly. And the 2 restaurants that got on Eater's best new restaurants list this year is My Lou in Rittenhouse and Honeysuckle Provisions in West Philadelphia. Yes! I was so enamored. I was so excited. This was a secret that I had to keep for a couple of weeks, and I was very happy that it came out. And whoa, how happy these 2 restaurant owners were. So, okay, what's cool about this story is that it's so dope. So, okay, Lou is a couple, they're about to be married. Amanda Schulman and Brian Kemp, her fiance. Brian Kemp is his restaurant. Now, Amanda Schulman, you know her, she owns Her Supper Club, right? Fun fact, me and Amanda Schulman, who is the lead chef owner of Her Supper Club, and her fiance, husband, I guess, Brian, the couple, her partner is the owner of Malu, and they owned it together at Malu. She and I went to Penn together. We was in college together. She studied like politics. I didn't even know she was going this route in food. This was like a whoa, whoa, whoa. But she has a passion for food. And it was so funny. It was full circle when I went to Her Supper Club last year for dinner. And, we was just catching up. And she was all like, I was like, wow, what? I didn't even put two and two together. Yeah, but we went to Penn together around the same time. And look at us. Look at that. That's just blows me. It just, I'm just in awe of the full circleness of that. But she is killing it. And her boo, oh my goodness, like Malu is incredible. Like they're just gonna take over everything. Like both of them, like they are running Rittenhouse. But we know Chad Williams is, first of all, let me be clear, Chad Williams is running Rittenhouse. But the two of them as a duo, okay, because Chad and Hannah with Friday, Saturday, Sunday, baby, they not running Philly, baby. They running America. Best restaurant in America, according to James Beard. And according to Ernest Stones, before James Beard, there was Ernest Stones who told y'all about Friday Saturdays. I want the record to show that the tastemaker been preaching the gospel Friday Saturday Sunday. I've been preaching that gospel for years. I'm going to own that. I told y'all this place was the best. I need to wait. History does not wait for the tastemaker. The tastemaker, the tastemaker doesn't wait for history. History waits for the tastemaker. That's right. But no, very happy that they're getting their props. And Malu is an incredible restaurant. I will tell you to make a reservation, but you better plan ahead. They booked, baby. Maybe you can slide on my good name. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. I'm so happy I'm a food editor. Not that I be playing with the reservations. I'm just saying, shout out to Malu. Shout out to Malu. They were great. Now let me talk about Honeysuckle Provisions. Omar Tate and his wife Sybil. Okay, Haiti, baby. Shout out to Haiti. Okay, they still doing their thing. They're Haitian and they're Philly and they're all of the things that make a neighborhood restaurant. And I was so honored to do the write up for them for the piece. I did the write up for the eater piece for them, and let me tell y'all, it just felt so good to be able to talk about what this restaurant means to me. Now, I live in West Philly. I've always lived in the University City, the West Philadelphia area. I never left that side of town. For the 13 years I've lived in Philadelphia, I never let go. Like after I graduated from Penn, I was in love with West Philly. I wanted to live in the neighborhood. This restaurant, this all-day cafe, this neighborhood safe space of our Afrocentric culture, it is the best. It is love. It just feels so good and so black. And I've always loved that. When it first opened, I walked in, I just shook my head like, this is it. Like patience. Omar and his team, there was always these questions like, when is it going to come out? When is it going to drop? He had so much pressure on him with Honeysuckles and the projects and they did the pop-ups. And there was a lot of people that was just like, kind of being like, yo, it's going to come out. I felt like it was like the Detox album from Dr. Dre where people were so excited about Detox. They were like, when is this Detox album coming? It ain't never going to come. That's how I feel like people were treating this project at one point, where they didn't know when it was going to finally happen because there was so many delays. But this man is an innovator. And a lot of times you have to just wait. You just have to make sure all the grooves are there. It was very intentional where he put it. It was very intentional how he wanted that to roll out. And him and his incredible wife, who's an outstanding owner and restaurant and chef in her own right? Sybil, they took their time and brought something that just hit. The moment I went in there, I never forget earlier this year when I went to the grand opening. They're now 1 year old now. When I went over a year ago and I showed up, I said, I see it. And I felt it. And I said, this is different. And for it to be honored and for me to have the opportunity to recognize that restaurant, a high honor. Congratulations. They both are Eater's best new restaurants. And let me say this. I felt happy about that because too often in Philadelphia, people think the only great restaurants are in Rittenhouse. And people have slept on West Philadelphia for a long time. West Philly is back, baby. It's coming back. And a lot of people just slept on it. They were talking about Fishtown, and no shade to Fishtown. Fishtown got some gems as well. People like to talk about Queen Village. I remember remember when East Passyunk had a moment, and they still cool, but there was a moment where everything on Passyunk, over there in South, everything on Passyunk and Manayunk or whatever, all that, the Yunks, they had a moment. And then, there was that, again, it was all called, of course, Rittenhouse, right? And I remember the little Queen Village situation had a moment. But people slept on West Philly. People act like West Philly could not do anything innovative or creative. Like, who wants to go to the Wild Wild West? What's over there? But there are some great restaurants that's coming to West Philly that are growing in West Philly. And West Philly has something to say. And now West Philadelphia has one of the best new restaurants in America. And it's Black owned. That just felt good. You got Malu, which is Maximus, the really exquisite French restaurant, right? Cool, fun place. And you also got Honeysuckle Provisions, which is doing something experimental that can transcend what neighborhood restaurants look like in this country. They represent the unique experience of Philadelphia restaurants right now. Like, that everything is not one way. You go to certain cities, like, I go to, I traveled for my book tour and went to various restaurants, but the Philadelphia scene is something different. We're doing something very different. There's something for everybody. Okay. Every Friday, y'all better get you a fried fish hoagie and save me one every Friday at Honeysuckle Provisions. And that's facts. And here's another thing. You don't have to make a reservation at Honeysuckle. There's like a couple outside dining, but really this is a place where you grab and you go. Okay, every time I want my fish hoagie on Friday, I call around 11 a.m., place my order and pick up. You can experience one of the best new restaurants at the comfort of your home. Call, place an order, or just show up, if you want to, but it's going to be long. If, nowadays they hot. You may be long lines. Call or pick up. It's a pickup spot. You can come in there, pick up, place your order and walk in and pick up. Okay? Joe, Amanda, we live in the same spot. I want to hear about Honeysuckle. I want y'all to talk about it. Y'all need to get y'all a dollar hoagie. It's called the dollar hoagie. It's not $1, but go and get you a dollar hoagie from Honeysuckle Provisions. Get you one, okay? Y'all doing all that virtual in-house, all that. Get you a dollar hoagie. Support Omar Tate. The only Black-owned spot in West Philly is not Booker's. Everybody act like Booker's the only spot, which I love Booker's. No shade to Booker's. I'm just saying. But people just be thinking the only thing in West Philly is Booker's or whatnot and stuff. No. We got some, we clearly got some other great gyms as well. And also we got Toast Cafe. So that's that. So let's get into these hot topics. The GOP debate, I did get a chance to watch, this week while everything else was going on in the world. We're going to talk more about that. A lot was going on this week outside of, Ernest's world. The GOP debate was interesting. I want to give some thoughts. I was really happy that they cut it down to about 5 people because Mike Pence then dropped out. Some of these other random people that was at the debates just didn't matter. These are like the 5. I think the 5 is whoever that Vermimikish guy, I can't pronounce his last name. And I don't need to, he's a joke. There was, former governor, Chris Christie. There was Tim Scott, who brought his girlfriend. There was Nikki Haley, and there was Ron DeSantis. Those were the 5 that was at the debate. Nikki Haley was a standout. Look, I'm not voting Republican, y'all know that, so we're not even going to do all that. But what I will say is that Nikki Haley is strong. And I know that people are fixated on Trump, and as they should, because Trump is still Trump, and Trump is still in the lead. But if this man goes to jail or gets in some trouble, I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there. But Nikki Haley stood out to me. She just seems to be, the lights are not all up well upstairs, but the lights are about 60% on over there, which is over the curve. Chris Christie, he's not bad, but we just know that he folds. And if you fold, to me, you just flip-floppy for me. You just flip-floppy for me. I'm not really feeling it. Tim Scott, no. I don't see Tim Scott. I don't see him. I don't get him. He had his girlfriend. Yes, she was white. Let's just get that out the way. girlfriend, and I'm gonna put my little fingers in. We ain't never seen this woman before. She just somehow pops up at this debate. Child, please, child, boo. Okay, I'm not. I'm gonna keep it there. If you know, you know. But I ain't. I'm not convinced that they're together. I think these are fake relationships. Everybody doing fake relationships. I don't believe. I still don't believe that. I still don't believe that Taylor Swift is with Travis Kelce or whatever his which one the Kelce she. I don't believe she with him. I don't believe it. I know he at the concert. I know she on her global tour. I know she in Argentina and she making lyric changes and I don't believe it. I feel like this is just good brand promo for both of them. Girl, Taylor turned out the NFL Super Bowl, which I know she didn't do it because she woke. She did because she a capitalist. Because Super Bowl performers don't get paid, but that's fine because Ursher's doing it. And Ursher is Ursher, so we love that. But mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. This fake couples in 2023. That's a trend, y'all. We got to kill the fake couples thing. Like, why is everybody doing fake couples? Like, just be with your boo or just don't have a boo. It's okay to be single. I don't know. I just feel like Taylor is just making this thing. This will be over after the Grammys. We're gonna talk about the Grammys too. Y'all know we're gonna talk about the Grammys. I have so many thoughts, but she gonna she gonna do what she gotta do. I love me some Taylor Swift, but I just feel like she's overexposed right now, and I feel like we're just getting too much of her, and I'm just like, girl, it's just look after the Grammys, baby. It's time to look drop them last two Taylor versions, baby, and take a break. Take a break. I think Taylor Swift needs a break. Love her music. She's killing it. She's on fire. But after this global tour, after this, like I don't need another new album. And I know this is wild because she's really doing her thing right now. But I'm just worried. I'm just worried that she's going to get played out. I feel like we're walking into Katy Perry mode, where it's getting to that point where I remember Katy Perry just got to the point where we got sick of her real fast. And I think about Gaga. Like Gaga had to take a step back, you know what I'm saying, and reinvent. But I really just hope Taylor after this tour take a break, because what can happen to an artist when they get too overexposed, they start making their lead single be Run the World rather than End of Time. And you realize you got to come back. And you got to come back on your own terms and give us a self. Okay, Amanda knows. What we still talk about this to this day. It's been over 10 years, but I'm still not over it. Why is Run the World Beyonce's lead single for 4? Why? That album, it does not reflect the album at all. And to be honest, I like Formation, but Formation does not represent Lemonade album. It's not the lead single that I would idealistically use to describe that album. I think Hold Up should have been the lead single, to be honest. It was more reflective of the actual album, what the contents were. But they loved those little surprise spins. The little fake diss of, I'm going to drop this single. You're going to think this single is going to be the album. But then you listen to the rest of the album, you realize it's different. It's like a fake out artists do. It's a really interesting creative risk, which basically a fake out is they always give you a song that isn't anything about the album because they want to surprise artists. They want to surprise the fans about the energy of the album. But that could backfire though. You just never know. But anyway, back to GOP debate. I was talking about fake relationships and Tim Scott. Yes. Okay, Tim. I'm gonna leave it there. Okay, Tim. Yeah, I just feel like Nikki Haley was just the strongest person. I feel like one, she's a woman, but I also think that she just seems smarter. She's very, she's good. She's just good. She's just really good at hitting her message. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of the things she stands on, but I do feel like there's an energy there for sure. So that's what my takeaway is. I don't know how the primary is going to shape out for the Republicans. It's still too early to tell. I mean, if it's a foregone conclusion that Trump is going to get it, I could believe that. And the crazy part is Trump don't even have to be on the debate stage. I mean, we don't even need Trump at the debate stage because we already know what he about. He don't even do them. We don't even like. It's like he's like, look, let me give them the platform because I ain't bothered. He is not impacted by this. He has his own platform. It's wild. But I mean, look what we got. So let me tell y'all about this, and this is national news. The FBI seized Eric Adams' phones as campaign investigation. There's a campaign investigation. The New York Times reported on this. They broke this story. I'm quoting them. But days after a raid at Mr. Adams' chief fundraiser's home, federal agents took the mayor's phones and iPad. Two people with knowledge of the matter said. Okay, they took his electronic devices earlier this week. And this is an escalation of a criminal inquiry into whether his 2021 campaign conspired with the Turkish government and others to funnel money into its coffers. This is a big damn deal. This is not a joke. Eric Adams has been a joke since he's been mayor. But this ain't nothing to sneeze at. This ain't nothing to laugh at. Baby, the feds have come marching in. New York City. New York, stand the fuck up. There are people right now saying they wish for moments like this. I saw a girl on Instagram, on Twitter. She posted a picture. You know Michael Jordan crying with his head down his trophy when he won the championship? Listen, that was me this weekend too, okay? That was me this weekend too. Baby, it was wild. It was wild. It was wild. So I see a lot of energy. It was a great night. It was a fabulous night. But let me just tell y'all, it was okay. My mind is somewhere else. I'm shocked. Eric Adams, like this is happening. Is this really happening? Like, New York does not like black mayors. Y'all can't keep a black mayor without trying to ruin them. Now, shout to, Dinkins, who did not leave in scandal, but was also dragged out because of then DA, district attorney, Rudolph Giuliani, who was a big hater of New York City's first black mayor, who was originally from Trenton, New Jersey. My husband told me this. This was in the 90s, and Rudolph Giuliani really was nasty. And then, of course, succeeded him as mayor. But Dinkins was a great black man who did the best that he could and was the first to make history. Eric Adams is the second black mayor in New York City's history. And my goodness, just already in scandal. Like, it is like almost like black people are allergic to being New York City mayor. Houston had many black mayors, okay? Sylvester and Mr. Brown, all the legends, okay? But we have not had a decent black mayor. Philadelphia's had a couple. Now, the first one is horrible, Wilson Good. I'm sorry, y'all. Come on. Now, that was his fault. That was bad leadership on his part. That ain't no one else pushing him. And that man got a second term after he did that. That's how ratchet Philly is, okay? We had, of course, John Street, Michael Nutter, and we're about to have the city's first ever woman mayor, who is a black woman, Sherelle Parker. So we done had some historical moments, but my goodness, what a moment, man. It's a lot that is happening. A lot that's happening. And Eric Adams, man, you in danger, girl. You in danger. I mean, this ain't a moment to laugh. It's serious. I don't know what's going on with the Turks. I don't know what's going on with the situation, but we will definitely be staying tuned here on Ernestly Speaking, because my bestie, my good friend Abel, me and Abel been talking about Eric Adams for a while. And, he didn't even see this. We didn't see this together. I mean, we knew something was a little off about Adams. He wasn't a fan. He liked Maya. He liked her. I thought she was just too wonky for the job. I didn't think she was bad, but I just felt like she didn't have the kind of New York swagger. But clearly, Eric Adams swagger a little on the wrong side, potentially. But these are all allegations. Eric Adams has denied any wrongdoing. They all do before it happens. But he is definitely, going to stay mayor until otherwise. Now, let me tell y'all something. This is straight from Baltimore. The former state attorney, okay, Marilyn Mosby. Okay, now I met her in her prime when she was at the top of the tower. She's 43 years old, y'all. She's originally from Boston. Her husband is Nick Mosby, who actually has his own political career. She went to Tuskegee University, Boston College. She's a Democrat. She was a big deal. She was a big deal in Baltimore. But it's a lot going on, and there's some people that's going after her. The Baltimore Police Union has called it her conviction karma. It's official. She's a convicted woman. She was found guilty of perjury in the federal court. The jury found Marilyn Mosby guilty of lying about hardships tied to the pandemic to withdraw retirement funds. They found her guilty. Okay, she was found guilty on 2 counts of perjury for falsely claiming financial hardship. Now, this is during the pandemic when it was the PPE money and the loans and all that. They said she was doing some funny business. She faces up to 5 years in prison for each conviction. Though, let's be clear, they typically don't give the sentences that long, but it's serious. Now, if you remember, she has been in the national spotlight. The handling of her case was a big deal. There was a lot of cascade of problems. There was a lot of stuff that went down. None of the prosecutions she brought against the officers in connection with Freddie Gray's death. Now, this is why she was a big deal. She rose to national prominence because she pushed charges against police officers who killed Freddie Gray, that young black man. And, her case was a big deal the way she handled it. There was a cascade of problems that began shortly afterward. None of the prosecutions she brought against those officers in connection to Freddie Gray's death was successful. And then she got indicted in early 2022, this was early last year, by federal prosecutors on these perjury charges. It most likely doomed her third attempt at a third term. She lost in the Democratic primary that summer. She won 2 terms. She lost that third term. A lot of it had to do with the fact that she was indicted at the time. A lot has happened in her life. July, okay, which I forgot this detail. July of this year, she was married to Nick Mosby, who is the president of the Baltimore City Council. He's the Baltimore City Council president. That's her husband. I told you he had a political career of his own. They got divorced. They got divorced this summer, y'all. They filed for divorce this summer. They were a power couple in Baltimore politics. And so there's a lot. And let me explain exactly what happened before I tell you what Baltimore thinks, because I had to hit up one of my favorite Baltimore folk to give me some tea. So in this indictment, the prosecutors accused her of falsely claiming financial hardship. Now, this was tied to coronavirus, and they said basically that she withdrew money from her city retirement account. Now, a person cannot withdraw money from this type of account until retirement. However, the CARES Act, right, that happened during the pandemic, permitted people to withdraw for adverse financial consequences tied to the pandemic. Like basically if you lost a job, you had reduced work hours. So in 2020, she had requested funds totaling $90,000 from her retirement account. That's a lot of money. And this was indicating on federal forms that she had been facing financial hardship. This is what she claimed. Meanwhile, she married. Okay? She was married during this time. But the government, the prosecutor said that she was not eligible. And instead, payroll documents showed that when she was the state attorney for Baltimore, she continued to get an annual salary of nearly $250,000. That's a lot of money, She was getting that during the pandemic. She had no reduction of work hours. The prosecutor said that she used the money to fund down payments for vacation homes in Florida. A lot was going on. A lot was going on. We're going to see what happens. But a lot of people have said that 45% of those said that they feel like Baltimore is corrupt. You know, that's what was said. So a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Um, so, mm, mm. So I spoke to someone from Baltimore, Joe, and I asked him, what's going on? What's going on? So a lot of people, are, according to him, the Baltimore, what the streets of Baltimore are saying about this. And apparently people are really upset. They said that they feel like there's been a witch hunt on her since, she put those cops on trial for what happened to Freddie Gray. However, he says, Shorty was wilding. Okay, she been on vacation for 3 years straight and she been flexing on the gram. Um, you know, but a lot of things that needs to be considered was how black women in politics in Baltimore go down. You got Kathy, you got Sheila, the former mayors. A lot of black women in Baltimore politics are oftentimes, find themselves in drama. And, it is a pattern that the men that's in there, um, you know, get away a lot with what they do. I mean, Baltimore has its controversy, but like the former Baltimore mayor Catherine Pugh or Kathy Pugh was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. Okay, for fraud, conspiracy, and tax charges. She was ordered to pay over $400,000 in restitution and had to forfeit nearly $670,000. Okay, that was on charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and 2 counts of tax evasion. Okay, and that was in early 2020 when that was announced. That was before the pandemic. Like, it's a pattern. It's a pattern. You think about people, like others who have had issues in Baltimore politics. A lot of black women. The former mayor Sheila Dixon. She was convicted of, embezzlement. Okay, and this happened, earlier this year, more than a decade after she was convicted of embezzling donated gift cards. She is now announcing she's running for office. She announced this in September. Sheila Dixon, she resigned as part of a 2010 plea agreement in her corruption case. She penned an op-ed in the Baltimore Sun back in September, apologizing for her past digressions and announcing that she is going to run for 2024 mayor. This marks her third bid for mayor following 2 unsuccessful attempts. This is the third time, baby. Third is 3 times the charm. Why is she doing this to herself? But she's going to go against current Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott in the primary. He is running for a second term. Now, Brandon Scott is a decent dude. I've gotten a chance to meet him. He's a young brother, too. Like, I don't know why she's running against him. Brandon Scott, to be a Baltimore mayor, he is the 52nd mayor of Baltimore. He got that notable fro. Really cool guy. He's made history. When he was first elected in 2011 at the age of 27, he became one of the youngest people ever elected to Baltimore City Council. And now he is, 39, 40? He's about to, around 40? This guy, he's 39 years old. He is 39 years old. He is the mayor. He got mayor in his late 30s. That's an achievement. And he's been able to do that without all of the drama. So I must say that that's a very positive thing. I don't know why she's trying to challenge him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why she's trying to challenge him. I think, this is a situation where just sometimes people in these political positions just won't let go. And when they don't want to let go, they cause chaos, right? So I just got to say that was very interesting to me. But listen, Baltimore, get it together. Get it together, Baltimore. Okay? I just want to say, get it together. Moving along to Philadelphia's election. First of all, there's a lot of election results that happened. But I want to talk about Philadelphia real quick, okay? Because Philly, baby, we showed up, we showed out. We held it down. We really did. I'm proud of us. The election was exciting. We had an exciting election. There was a lot of wins and losses and things in between. And yes, so the winners and losers in the Philadelphia 2023 general election. So let's just talk about it, man. It was a big election night. Even though it was predictable in some fronts, it was also very fun in others, okay? Let me just get with the basics. Sherelle Parker won. We knew she was going to win, okay? Undoubtedly, she was going to win. She won. She is now the 100th mayor of Philadelphia, Mayor-elect Sherelle Parker. She couldn't come to the gala because she went to vacation. I think she's somewhere, but she needed a vacation. And after a very stressful, aggressive campaign cycle, she is resting and she is well. But she has won. She went on a tough on crime campaign in a city that's experiencing a public safety crisis, right? She won. She handily won. She sizably won. David O had no chance. David O didn't bring no smoke. She did her thing. Okay. It was there. Democrats swept across all the statewide judicial races, which is a good thing. We knew the Democrats are going to sweep in Philly, but they also swept those judicial races. All the judicial races that they were in, they won. That was a pleasant surprise because with all the talk of Pennsylvania swaying for Trump, you never know how voters are going to show up on election day, especially with everything going on in the world right now. But right now, people are backing blue in regards to Democrats. And so she did a good job. The Democrats did a good job when it came to statewide races and also, of course, in the city. Isaiah Thomas is still the highest vote getter in Philadelphia City Council. Kathy Grimmett Richardson was second. Interesting enough, the numbers shifted though. Nina Ma came in third this time around. Rue came in fourth, but Rue did get elected officially. She becomes the first openly LGBTQI member of City Council to run a candidate for City Council to win. Now, Sherry Cohen is someone probably sick to her stomach because, she wanted to be in City Council and make that history. She was the first to get the Democratic nomination, however, from the Philadelphia Democratic City Committee. However, the winner was... of course, the winner was Rulandall. And also in fifth place came Jim Harity, but of course kept his seat. Now, the big shocker of the night and the biggest success, which I called it, because I'm always going to try to be on the right side of history. The big one for me was none other than the legendary Working Families Party. Kendra Brooks and Nicholas O'Rourke won. Both of them won. They shut Republicans out of at-large seats. It's a first in Philly politics. Both of them, Kendra Brooks and Nicholas O'Rourke, are going to City Council. Kendra is an incumbent. She's now what we will call the minority leader. And Nicholas O'Rourke is there. There are more Working Family Party members than Republicans. There's 2-1. The minority party in Philadelphia is the Working Families Party. The Democrats is still the majority party. The Republicans lost bigly. There is only one Republican out of all 17 members elected. Only one. That's Brian O'Neill, who has been in that seat for over 40 years. Brian O'Neill, okay? He's up there in age. He's 79 years old. 79, y'all. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting. He had a challenger, in the Northwest. He had a challenger, but he won. He won. I'm sorry, he's not 79. Let me clarify. He is 73 years old. He's still a senior citizen, respectfully. He was born in 1949, December 23rd, 1949. So he'll be 74 this year. He's coming into his 10th, I think. How many terms he's been in? He's been in since 1980. He's been serving on city council since 1980. This will be his 11th term on city council. He represents the 10th district. This will be his 11th consecutive term. He's been in council since 1980. He was the city's council's minority leader. He will now not be. Kendra Brooks will be the minority leader. Nicholas O'Rourke will be there. There are 2 Working Family Party members and only 1 Republican left in Philadelphia City Council. That is a big damn deal. There was a time. And many people were saying, why did David O have to forfeit his damn seat? Because listen, at some point you're going to want to advance for yourself, even if you don't have a chance. He didn't have a chance. He didn't have a fighting chance. But at the end of the day, he did what he had to do. And it was a lot. It was a lot. So he's the only Republican there. And, I wonder if after this he's going to retire. I mean, the man is going to be 74 by the end of the year. Just saying. The winners in this election, this general election, are the Democrats. Like I said, they really did sweep. The Working Families Party made history, of course. Progressives had a moment. They really pulled out the unthinkable. I mean, they really continued to push Isaiah. They was able to push Isaiah to the top. But they did a really solid job. The progressives, after their big primary, disappointment, they really came out and pulled out the game. And it was a really different election compared to the last time. Now, when I was, this week I was on, there was no Philadelphia City Council Live this past Thursday because on election weeks, they take the Thursday off of council. There's no session. Everybody relaxes. We'll be back on this Thursday coming up. But also, I was on WRD anyway. I was with James Peterson, James Braxton Peterson, who we co-hosted the election special this time around. We was at South, and we was on Word on that Tuesday election day, doing all the interviews. We interviewed, of course, Sherelle Parker. We interviewed the governor, Josh Shapiro, who was reading my book. And I had to get a picture of that because that was like hella dope. We interviewed, of course, Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis and other judicial candidates in the race. And it was just a great time. It was a wonderful time. Full circle. It was definitely full circle. But yeah, it was dope. But yeah, Democrat judicial candidates were big winners and Black candidates were winners. My theory continues to be true. And I've been saying this for a long time. And I'm going to keep saying this. When you run Black progressives win. Black progressives need to be the ones. Working Families Party, reclaim all of y'all. Stop pushing these folks that look like gentrifiers. Stop pushing these random white folks that just don't. I'm just saying respectfully, when you look at the diversity of the city, people want to elect diverse candidates. Listen, it is what it is. The progressive base in Philadelphia, a lot of the people that's working on those campaigns, they may not look like the demographic, but you have to run candidates that have a fighting chance. Nick O'Rourke lost his first time, won the second time, okay? You see Kendra won the first time and stayed reelected. When Black progressives run, they win. Or they're super close to. You look at Seth in over there in the Northwest, he ran for city council. I mean, literally 400 vote difference. Black candidates are putting up the fire. We're going to see some Black progressives run in the spring primaries. I'm definitely paying attention to that race. Okay, Andre Carroll, he is running. He's going to run again. He's going against Stephen Kinsey again. I mean, it's getting hot over there in Germantown, y'all. Like, if you were in Germantown, follow that race for state rep. That is the big race. Okay, Andre Carroll and Stephen Kinsey, they're going at it again. It's gonna be another hot race. We got to see. But Black progressives win. Look at Rick Kaczewski. Look at Jamie Gauthier. Jabari had no shot. Jabari Jones had no chance. But what's even more scandalous about what happened in West Philly, because that's in my district, and I told you how I was going to vote, and everybody I voted for won. Isn't that crazy? Everybody I voted for won, because I vote for winners. But let me tell you what was interesting about that race is that there was a scandal the day of the election with the ballots. There was a fake Democratic ballot that went out that placed Jabari Jones on the ballot, on it as if he was the incumbent and left Jamie Gauthier's name off. Now listen, people can feel how they want about the candidates, but one thing I don't like is cheating. One thing I don't like is corruption. The DA's office jumped on that fast. They was able to get on it immediately. But why are we playing them type of games? I have no respect for people who play those types of games. I don't think Jabari had anything to do with it. Apparently he said, that He told his team, "Don't do it. They're gonna win anyway." Of course, they lost. I don't even think he got less than 20% of the vote. I mean, I think he got worse than that actually. I think he had like 13%. Let me check the numbers because the loss was Lawson. And listen, if you're gonna go against the Queen, you bet not miss. And he definitely missed. I was like, ooh, this is a lot. This is a thing. What's going on? What's going on? I'm trying to look at all these seats. So voter turnout they said was 30%, which was really good. 30%, was the big one. I'm looking at all these races right now, so I can tell you how it played out. But Gautier got basically 87% of the vote, and Jabari Jones got 13% of the vote. Yeah, he could have stayed home. Hell, I could have ran, and I would have probably gave her more run of her money. I mean, she would have won. Who knows? What if I would have ran for seat? I have no interest in politics. Let me just say that. But like, what if I would have ran? My goodness. Um, yeah, these races are very solid. So Brian O'Neill got 60% of the vote. Gary Messino was the Democrat. He had 40% of the vote. That was a tight race. That was not a blow. I mean, it was a nice little 20% margin. But a lot is changing in the Northeast. So we're going to keep an eye on that race. Now for the losers, there were losers for sure in this situation. There were definitely some losers. The losers, in my opinion, that I deem were losers, and for various reasons. The top three was the Republican Party. The Republicans they can't get out the way. They can't get out the way. I mean, the Republicans just can't get out the way. It's only one of them left. Nobody wants Philly. Nobody wants it. They just lost. It was what it was. The Democratic Party leader Bob Brady, he did a lot. He did committee person cutting. He did a lot of trash talking. He did a lot of work coming at the Working Families Party. And there was so much chatter about loyalty and the threat of consequences for those who was backing those WFP candidates over, But in the end, the Democrats, they defied them anyway and had no doubt. And no doubt they helped oust Republicans. Democrats played a role in this election in voting third party to support Nick and Kendra. And Brady was mad about it. It was confusing. And I get it. No, it wasn't confusing. Let me clarify that because I did last week. In last week's episode, I did clarify why he had to do what he had to do. But in retrospect, when I started seeing how the elections play out, it was too much. It was too much aggression. It was too much hostility. And I'm like, I get it. But relax a little bit. Relax a little bit. That's just my thoughts. And then the biggest other loser, which is for various reasons, was the Councilmanic District challengers. Everybody, regardless of political affiliation, they lost, notably. Like in the 3rd District, Jabari Jones lost. He ran a negative campaign. I mean, he went after, Gautier. But Gary Messino, couldn't even beat the Republican. Lone Republican won in his area. So the challengers, whether they're Democratic challengers or the independent challengers or whatnot, they just don't have a shot. District seats are hard to unseat at the general. If you win the primary, it's hard for a third party candidate or alternative candidate to challenge. It's just a really hard thing to do. So I was not surprised there. But moving along, the other things that happened during elections across the country, in Kentucky, Daniel Cameron lost. Okay, and that's a big damn deal, y'all. I know some of y'all might like, why does that matter? He is the Attorney General of Kentucky, but he ran a disgusting, gross campaign. He was anti-trans. He was a jerk, and he's a Republican. It's a lot about this guy that I just don't like at all. So he is, for those who don't know, he's the first Black American independent elected to a statewide office in Kentucky's history, and the first Republican that was elected to the Attorney General's office in Kentucky since 1948. He's the 51st Attorney General. He's a Black man, but as you know, not all our skin folk are our kinfolk. So he was a Republican nominee for governor. He tried to run for governor, and he lost to the incumbent, Andy Beshear, who's a Democrat. And that should be noted, He was legal counsel to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. They have a very interesting relationship. But what's important to note, and a lot of people don't talk about enough, is that, he ran in the 2019 Kentucky Attorney General race. He got endorsed by Trump in the primary. He won basically nearly 58% of the vote, but he unsuccessfully challenged several of Andy Beshear's COVID-19 restrictions as the AG. And he also got a lot of controversy during the death of Breonna Taylor. I don't know if y'all know this, but he announced the decision of his office as special prosecutor that he was not going to charge the two officers who had shot and killed her, which led to widespread protests against his decision. So he lost running governor. He lost his race, as he should. A Democrat still remains in power in Kentucky, and that's good. Kentucky voters showed up and showed out. Also, in places like Ohio and other places, it's great to see. Now, what's interesting about him, he's 37 years old. By the way, he's 37 years old. Daniel Cameron, a young guy, millennial, an embarrassing millennial, because it was lavish. It was lavish. It was gorgeous. It was the defeat. Him getting defeated was awe-inspiring. It was perfection. It was glamour. I loved it. Let me just say that. I just want to just put it out that I was so happy that he lost because he's trash. Daniel Cameron, I'm referring to. I'm still on Daniel. I'm just, can I say that, man? But across many states, abortion was on the ballot, and abortion rights were being protected. Statewide and locally, people want a woman's right to choose. It was a tremendous thing to see and witness that this is the issue. This is the issue. Democrats did really well across these statewide races across the country. That should be noted, y'all, that this is a good precursor, a positive precursor. Like, even though Biden is not doing the best he can do, even though people are upset with the Democratic Party, when it comes to elections, though, people are not playing games when it comes to these statewide policies. People are waking up. The abortion issue, I think, woke people up again. That Supreme Court decisions can be reversed. That other critical views can be reversed. And the scandals upon scandals and the salaciousness that's happening out in the Supreme Court right now, especially involving Clarence Thomas, even some stuff with Samuel Alito, that stuff is that people are waking up. And people are funding really great teams to go out and do grassroots work, knocking on doors, educating voters, letting people know what the truth is and what's real. It's important, y'all. It is crucial. And so I was very happy to see that. I'm also seeing cannabis legislation being legalized in all parts of the country. Pennsylvania, wake the fuck up. Just saying. Come on, Pennsylvania. Get it together. Get it together. You got places all across this country that is legalizing cannabis, recreational use. Recreational use. What are we doing here? Okay, Governor Shapiro, get it together. So, in other interesting news, and I want to take this time to talk about this because I love following media. Jezebel is dead. Did y'all know that? Jezebel. It is that progressive publication. And it was a big deal when it's been out. It was a radical woman-led publication. It shuts down women's media, y'all. Jezebel is going to leave a hole, okay? This website, this digital media website, it fostered a generation of talent. It shaped the way the internet talked about women. It was bold. It was all those things. But that damn Gizmo, okay, media group, the CEO announced this past week that they're shutting down the women-centric website Jezebel. They said they failed to find a buyer. After 16 years, 6 editors-in-chiefs, 4 presidential administrations, okay? uh, tens of thousands of articles and posts, hundreds of internet shitstorms, and at least one gallery of digital illustrations of the penises of Disney princes. According to Rolling Stone, as they put it, one of the internet's last remaining stalwarts of web feminism was to fall silent. It's heartbreaking. A lot of writers, a lot of incredible women writers, came out of this publication, told incredible stories, talking about Red Book magazine photoshopping Faith Hill, talking about, making her look skinny. They were progressive. They talked about Jennifer Lopez was the only person who was allowed to have a butt. They talked about tans were orange. They talked about girls going wild. They talked about everyone's, talking about thongs that were above waistlines. I mean, they had great conversations. And as a black man, as a man in general, reading the publication, it was just good to hear what women think in a way that was unapologetic, that was just very frank and very just bold. And that's hard. That's hard, y'all, to find a publication that spoke to women in a very intersectional way, the diversity of the voices, the diversity of the women who was involved. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It was gorgeous. It was just an immaculate publication that spoke to women's issues in a way that I don't think can be repaired. I don't know who can fill that void. There is always, Mother Jones, but nothing is like Jezebel. I mean, Jezebel was just iconic. And we're in this media world right now where people, stuff is just falling. And, it's a lot, It's sad. It's sad when you see I remember when, Gawker took that hiatus, A lot of people said, now these are the theories about Jezebel. We're in a time where apparently AI is telling us that, AI is telling us that there are advertisers who are pretty much not trying to put ads alongside very provocative, quote unquote, salacious, or just very controversial pieces of journalism. And Jezebel is bold headlines, bold things. And a publication like that needs to get revenue. And so I think no one wanted to buy it because they couldn't be able to tame it, right? For it to work, it had to take bold stances. And bold stances against corporations, other groups, but that fifth estate, that journalism, right, is being under attack because I keep telling y'all, journalism is a business. And unfortunately, when you treat journalism like a business rather than a public service, sadly, a lot of great content goes away and slips through the cracks. And so what we're seeing happen right now is what happens in digital media, that there is no alternative. I mean, we just got to get more grants. We got to get more money. We got to fund, more institutions need to be set up to fund journalism projects and publications like Jezebel to do its thing without feeling like it can't exist. And so it's an interesting, time in the industry. But it's a lot. It's a lot. So as I say that, I also want to talk about the SAG-AFTRA strike, which is finally over. Our favorite stars and shows are coming back. There was a deal on Wednesday striking, Wednesday's deal between striking actors and studios and streaming services. It won't immediately restore filming to its full swing. It's going to take months, okay? But there is a tentative agreement. Okay, the writer's strike got resolved a couple of months ago, weeks ago, a couple of months ago, not too long ago. But the actor strike is over. We're gonna have the Golden Globes in January. The Oscars is happening still in March. We back on track, y'all. Let's get with it, man. The Emmys, man. I missed the primetime Emmys. It's coming back in January though. So very soon, Deadpool, Abbott Elementary, The Last of Us. It's going to be a step closer to returning to screens. We're excited. This was a 6-month of labor strife in the film and television industries. It is now drawing to a close, right? Thousands thousands upon thousands of entertainment sector workers are going to get back to work, and we're excited to see it. I love a happy ending, right? This was long, hard, and fought. But it's a lot of delays. The final Yellowstone episodes, the ones with Kevin Costner, they're delayed until late 2024, and that was due to the Hollywood strikes. Picket lines are suspended, and the only rallies on the horizon are the celebratory ones because the actors union is excited. They're feeling good. Now, the deal, because a lot of y'all have been asking me in the DMs about the deal, like what are the exact terms of the deal? I don't think they're coming. They're going to come out in a couple of days. A couple of stuff is coming out. Apparently, it's the deal is worth more than $1 billion, and apparently they've achieved a deal of extraordinary scope, is what they said. So there's going to be some stuff around compensation increases, consent protections for the use of artificial intelligence, that's AI, of actors' likeliness, and includes new streaming participation bonuses. There's a lot of cool things happening right now. Now, the strike put an immediate stop to the Deadpool 3 filming, which was with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Also, Riley Scott's Gladiator sequel. There's going to be a Gladiator sequel. But a lot of those films are going to go back into production. Shows and scripts and work on shows like Abbott Elementary, y'all, The White Lotus, Yellow Jackets, they're back to work again. They're going to get there sooner. We're waiting for them to come back on air. And let me be clear, television moves a lot faster than movies because movies, there's the huge editing and promotional process and all that. So the movies are going to take a minute. But a lot of the work, when you think about Killers of the Flower Moon and the Marvels, there was no stars able to promote those films. The strike rules prevented actors from promoting work done by the major studios. So that's why you didn't see Leonardo DiCaprio and Brie Larson, a lot of those great actors, doing any major interviews for the film. It was very, very odd. But they just couldn't do that work, right? So, it was a lot of projects that got exemptions. A couple of them, Ferrari. That's that Michael Mann film with Adam Driver. They was able to go. Patrick Dempsey as well. But we're going to see some more red carpets. The red carpets are coming. It's coming. I can't wait. People are still figuring out what's going to go on with the Golden Globe Awards. Even though the Emmys are going to happen, we know the Emmys are happening, the SAG Awards are happening, which the SAG Awards are going to be on Netflix next year. People were worried that it was not going to happen because of the strike, but the Golden Globes is still trying to reinvent itself after the scandal. They still do not have a U.S. broadcast partner. So we don't know who's actually going to air the Golden Globe Awards because of all the drama. So we may not have a Golden Globes on TV. There was a year when there was a big old controversy and the Golden Globes, it was another strike, and the Golden Globes ran, and I think there was 2 times, ran their stuff on like Twitter and announced it, but there was no award ceremony, nothing televised. So that's interesting. I enjoy the Golden Globes, let me be real. I do enjoy the Golden Globes, like the next person. So we'll see. We'll see how this unfolds and how this plays out. But Golden Globes, man, if they don't happen, they don't happen. Listen, as long as we have the Oscars and the primetime Emmys, the creme de la creme, okay, that's fine with me personally. So I want to talk about Keke Palmer. This situation with Keke Palmer is not surprising and surprising at the same damn time. I'm not in the business of I told you so, I knew so. My heart goes out to her. Everyone's talking about it, clearly. There's a restraining order against her baby father, Dalton. She got it granted, temporary restraining order. She has temporary full custody of her child. Darius Dalton is, she's accusing him of abuse. She says she's in an abusive relationship, emotional and domestic abuse by her ex. She filed with the court. She provided evidence. And now she is officially able to get it. She's 30 years old. It is sad to see. She's an incredible woman, and it is sad to see that she had to get a restraining order to protect her child. But listen, I believe a woman. Listen, my mother, is in my family. I have family members and people who've been in situations similar to that. And so I believe her. Keke has been very thorough. I don't have no doubt. Let me just say that. I believe her. I believe that Keke was trying so hard, as a celebrity. She's a teen, she's a teen star, she's a child star. She's been in the spotlight. I think she was trying so hard to really keep it positive. You just never know what people are going through. And the fact that her mother, who barely speaks on any of the controversies that go on in her career, her mother spoke out. And when her mother spoke out, it was a lot. There is photos of security video footage that apparently can support abuse claims that was made. The evidence of that. People are sharing stills that she gave to the court. And what's disgusting is, yeah. I just want to put on here, if you know anyone, if you or anyone you know is experiencing or being threatened with domestic violence, there is a hotline. You can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. So it's 1-800-799-SAFE is the number, is the hotline you can call, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. They provide professional resources to help victims. So please, by all means, call them if there's resources that you need. That hotline is available. But I wanted to just say that it's a terrible situation. And people say, well, why do people go back and this, that, and third? As somebody who has had family members close to me that I know has been victimized, and just listening to them, a lot of times what I hear is you don't want to add fuel to the fire. There's a fear that if you do an abrupt departure and you won't have all your ducks together, if you haven't decided to make all your financial moves or transitions, that you could potentially increase something worse happening. And so you don't want to do an abrupt departure from an abuser sometimes. Sometimes, if you just up and leave and just do everything abruptly, sometimes that can create a situation that could lead to more fatal problems. Sometimes it can just be emotional stress, right? The idea that maybe a person makes a mistake, that a person that you loved, that you've been with for a long time, that sometimes that person made a mistake and had a dark moment. Sometimes people can't actually afford to leave. Some people can sometimes be in a situation where they are literally, it's an organization called the Purple Bag, or the Purple Purse, I think it's something along that lines, where basically a lot of times the reason why people are caught up in abusive relationships is because of financial codependence. So if you are married to somebody where they hold the checkbook, they have all the money, they control the budget, that every card and everything is in their name, where, if you tried to leave, you couldn't go too far because you didn't have the resources to. There's a lot of ways in which victims are held captive and hostage in their own households, in their own marriages. And so it's a very nuanced situation. And so I'm tired of hearing people on social media sometimes ask the same stupid questions, because there's so many complexities as to why people stay or be around. And, sometimes people will fault themselves. They will think it's something they did. I think Keke has been someone who, because of the experience in her childhood, her mother experiencing things, she was trying to do something different, and that just wasn't happening. It's obvious this man has a problem. He needs help. He needs consequences. His brother is trash. And if y'all know who the brother is, Darius Dalton is Darius Jackson. His real name is Darius Jackson. He goes by Darius Dalton on social, but his name is Darius Jackson. The brother is trash. There's been a lot of back and forth in the press about, who said what. And, Keke Palmer's mother spoke out The brother, Sakara's, the mother says that Sakara's Jackson knew he was abusive a year ago. She said, "You're a fuckboy and part of the problem." Now that's Keke Palmer's mother talking, okay? Miss Sharon. Don't play with Miss Sharon, okay? She went in, and, told the truth. And there's a lot of people that's out here telling themselves, because he had a deleted tweet that he put up, and basically, she said that Cesarius taught his brother how to be abusive and added, quote, "He don't get to act like he's this special guy. No, you're a fuckboy and you're part of the problem. I dare you, mess with my family. Family means everything to me. You and your family act like sociopaths and like the world can't see it. You are phony. And I saw you from day one. My daughter is kind and our family treated you with kindness and this is how you treated. I won't take this lying down anymore. I'm done." That's what she's claiming. They're saying that stills from a security camera appear to show that Jackson manhandled Keke Palmer, hitting her while she leaned over a couch. In the neck foulings, Palmer said that Jackson body slammed her onto the stairs by her neck. This is very triggering. The incident stems from Palmer showing Jackson a photo of her workout results at a friend's party, and it apparently sent him into a rage, she alleges. This is according to the court documents and reports. She accused Jackson of abusing her recently as November 5th, stating that she had security footage to back up claims that he trespassed into her home without her knowledge or consent and threatened her before lunging for her neck, striked her, threw her over the couch, and stole her phone. It's terrible. And some of y'all are the same people that will sit up and still listen to fucking Chris Brown. When you hear those stories, when you see those pictures, I don't see how you can... See, I wrote the book, The Case for Counsel Culture, and in my book, this man is counseled. And I hope she gets all the justice she deserves. I hope she gets full custody of her child. I feel like this man is dangerous. I believe her. And I think he needs to be held to the fullest extent of consequences because that's trash. Period. Moving along. Sexiest Man Alive, Patrick Dempsey. Why? Just gonna say that. Why? And Jason Kelce of the Eagles, Travis Kelce's brother. Why? No shade, but Jason Kelce, listen, there's some white women that love a scruffy man like him. They think he's cute, I guess. Listen, he's Northeast cute. Northeast cute. Which, if anybody who's in Philly gets the joke, you get the joke. He's Northeast cute. He's not even the cutest of his siblings, let alone the cutest on his team. I'm just like, did y'all not see the alternative? I'm just trying to figure out why we acting like we don't see the alternatives. The alternatives, y'all, okay? There were alternatives. And I don't understand why we're not acting like we don't see who could have been there on that team. I don't get it. It's the lack of taste for me. It's the lack of taste for me. I mean, come on. Jalen Hurts, baby. Jalen Hurts was right there, okay? And everybody like, oh, well, Jalen Hurts is young. Whatever. Jalen Hurts, oh, shit, he's 25. He is young. He was born in 1998. Oof. Okay, he is a little young. But listen, we can always make exceptions to the rule. I feel like, y'all don't do that with women. Y'all never tell sexiest girl alive. Y'all didn't tell that to the girls in their 20s. Y'all didn't say that to Jennifer Lawrence when she was when she was the height of her acting career. Y'all didn't say that to the models, the Gigi Hadids and all. Y'all didn't say that about them. We can't make an exception for the young folks. He's not even a millennial. I think he's Gen Z. Y'all don't say that about Billie Eilish and Olivia Rodrigo. Y'all didn't say that about Britney. Let Jalen Hurts get on the list. When it's sexiest women, y'all put women in their 20s. Y'all barely want to put older people. But when it's the men, oh, they gotta be shaggy. Oh, contraire, my dear friend. We got Timothy Chalamet. The whites love Timothy Chalamet. The young white girls love him. What about Jalen Hurts? Why can't he? Stop moving the goalpost. Justice for Jalen. I think he fits. I mean, Michael B. Jordan got it. You know how you do. No, I'm joking. Michael B. Jordan got it. Now they said there were some black finalists. They had Jamie Foxx as one of the finalists. You know, I'm gonna be classy. Jamie Foxx has a certain demographic of people that is interested in him, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't trying to be shady, but there are alternatives, y'all. There are alternatives. Patrick Dempsey. I mean, listen, Dreamy McSweeney, that was back in the day. Like, why are they playing in our faces? I mean, I don't get it. Like, he's in the movie Ferrari, but that don't mean I'm trying to keep it classy. Usher, why Usher didn't get it? Like, Timothy, okay, so they did put in called it. Timothy Chalamet is 27 years old, and he is one of the finalists for Sexiest Man Alive. So let me get Amanda, my good Judy Amanda together. Amanda was the one who said Jalen Hurts was too young to be on the list, Dr. Parks. But Timothy Chalamet is on here at 27 years old. Oscar nominee. Pedro Pascal's on here. He is fine. Usher, Libras, he's 45. Usher really should have been on the list. He did a fucking residency in Vegas. What the fuck Patrick Dempsey do? It's the racism for me. Jamie Foxx, you know what? The man recovered, got back on his feet. Lenny Kravitz is on this list. Like, come on. Lenny Kravitz, 59 years old. Body is bodying. Okay? Like, y'all could put Lenny Kravitz on there, goddammit. Still killing it. And then Jason Kelsey's on here, which is just random. I feel like they had to put, because Pedro's Latino, Timothy Chalamet is white. He's white. Usher, Jamie Foxx, Lenny Kravitz, it's black men. The only person, and then y'all had to put, I feel like the Jason Kelsey decision was their way of saying, we got to appeal to middle America. Like, why? I don't know what other alternative white men could have been on the list, but not him. I don't know. What do I know? They could have put Travis on there. Shit, he dated Taylor Swift. I could have saw him on the list. I don't know, but he's a good football player. I give him that. I ain't gonna do too much, but you know. So ask Ernest this week. You all asked an interesting question. I'm going to answer it because this one has been asked to me for a minute, and I'm just noticing how many of you all were asking. So the Dear Ernest this week was basically in a nutshell. You all have been noticing I've been taking pictures with, I took a picture with Cheryl Parker. And a lot of you all, Mayor-elect Cheryl Parker. And a lot of you all have been saying like, oh, it looks like you're getting soft with the cozying up with the power people. You know what I'm saying? Da, 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 da. Listen, let me let y'all know something. Okay. I've been doing this for a decade. I'm going to put y'all on what I call strategy. As a journalist, you want to be as fair as possible. And I want every person, when a new administration comes in, you try to start everything off on a very fair, open space. You don't come in like, I don't like this person, whatever, because when you do that, you don't get access, you don't get the resources and the opportunities to be able to, you know, do your job. For me, it's important that, let me be clear, Cheryl Parker is going to walk into a position where, as a black woman, regardless of how you feel about her politics, she is going to get an unfair, uneven distribution of blame, responsibility for a lot of the problems in the city. People are going to act like She's the reason why we have the high poverty rate, the issues with gun violence, as if the Kennedy administration for 8 years ain't been fucking up already. She is going to inherit an administration that has been piss poor. And she's going to have to come in there with a team that is strong, that's going to have to clean that shit up. And unfortunately, in Philadelphia politics, and even American politics, the only time we see radical opportunities for black women in leadership roles is when there's been a big fucking shit mess made by oftentimes men, and specifically white men. You know, there's a reason why Kamala got VP. Because the Trump administration sucked so bad that they had to have a black woman. That America was so fed up, they said, let's put a black woman in the VP seat. The first ever woman vice president in American history was a black woman. Okay? We see this historically where there's corruption by men fuck up, and then we put a black woman in a position. We see this consistently. Even when said black women in those positions can sometimes make their own mistakes, they often come after scandal. You think about Danielle Outlaw, who was a horrible police commissioner, but you got to consider the fact that she came in right after a scandal in the Philadelphia Police Department. And so it's always that pattern where you see this increase in black women coming in as the answer, the response to the fuck up by a man. And so this has been the pattern for a long time. And so I do not want to be a part of the narrative in history where the moment Sherelle Parker got her seat, Ernest Owens, the black male journalist, comes in swinging at her and giving her hell just cuz. I'm not doing it. And a lot of you all didn't do it when Krasner got in office. A lot of you all didn't do it when Kenny got in office. Okay? Just saying. So I'm coming in this space fair, coming in this space with a level of grace and understanding and cultural context. And let me just say this. There will be mistakes made in this administration. And I will definitely and thoroughly and unapologetically report on them. But I am making sure that right now, there is no time to exasperate and extremely badger this woman. There are some people who've done some interesting journalism, quote unquote, opinion pieces that have come after Sherelle in a way that I thought was unfair. I'm going to speak on it now because it annoyed me. That piece by Helen Ubinis that came out earlier this year talking about she needs to start, Sherelle needs to start addressing gun violence now and tackling. I said, that's disrespectful. It's stupid. It was a dumb piece because it lacked cultural competency. Because Helen Ubinis is not a black woman. And she doesn't understand the complexities that impact black people in leadership. As a black person in power, who has my power, any person, right, as a black queer person that navigates power, we know that people come in thinking that we're overambitious, that we want to take over everything, that we want to rock the boat. We're too arrogant. If we don't say anything, we're inadequate. If we do say something, we're overstepping. She was a mayoral candidate. She had to respect the process. She had to let the mayor do his job. And I think it's funny how so many people have let Mayor Jim Kenney off the hook, just gave up on him and just put the responsibility on other people. Stop it. Leadership starts from the top. Kenney was the mayor, is currently still the mayor until January 1st. He is the one that should be getting the consistent badgering. And to put that responsibility or ask a black woman to do more labor than what she's already done was stupid, was inadequate, and messed up. And I really so badly wanted to respond to that piece, but I don't write my pieces in response to trash-ass op-eds. My work responds to the things that matter. And to be honest, that was just a horrible take. And I feel like a lot of people didn't want to respect the process with Sherelle. They just really wanted her to go in being a mayor or making declarations. No. And you have to remember, her and Kenny do have a relationship. Okay? She is loyal to a certain default. And at the end of the day, that's the decision she's made. But we got to really respect the process. And she did respect the process. And so I was happy to see her in her element. And now she's in a position where she can influence policy. So let her influence policy. Okay? That is that on that. Love y'all though. But I just wanted to make it known that, she should have the opportunity to give her opinions, give her thoughts. And we should be able to see her in all of her excellence. And so, yeah. So that's my Ask Ernest. Now, for movies, there's been a lot of movies coming out right now, a lot of chit chat, a lot of chatter about films and whatnot. But I just want to know a trend that I'm witnessing. What I'm witnessing is this moment in time where we're seeing the flop of we're seeing the flop of Marvel. Marvel is it's not completely flopped, y'all, but I think we're in an era, which I'm kind of happy about, that we're seeing these big, superhero movies not be the front and center of our cinematic universe. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see, movies that are original, creative, one-time films, not a bunch of crazy sequels. Get it. Now, Marvels is going to always do well. The Marvels just came out, and look, it's okay, it's all right, right? But I think we're in a phase where people said that for the past couple Marvel movies, they just have not been the same. They have not been hitting the same. But I just think we're in Marvel fatigue. They had a run, baby. They had a nice 10-year run, baby, a nice decade run at the box office. But people are tired of superhero films, y'all. I feel like we're in a different era. We want to see something grittier. The world wants to see something more creative. And I'm happy to see us growing up, because I've never really been into them. The only Marvel series I was into was Black Panther. Like, that's it. Like, Black Panther, that's the films that took it for me, because I saw myself. But all the other ones, I just wasn't crazy. But I never went to the box office and saw any of them. The only two I saw was Black Panther. That was the only two that I cared about, that I was excited about, that really, moved me. But yeah, we just gotta move forward. Speaking of films, there's apparently going to be an Elon Musk biopic in the talks, directed by Darren Aronofsky. Let me tell you what I talk about Darren Aronofsky. He directed one of my favorite films of all time, the incredible, I wouldn't even say underrated, because it got nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture, Black Swan, with one of the best actress performances of all time, Natalie Portman. I love Natalie Portman. When Natalie Portman acts and she's on fire. She doesn't do that many films anymore, but she's just, a beast. I grew up, like, when I was in my theater days and I was acting when I was younger, I was obsessed with Natalie Portman. Like, I loved her. I still love her. She's in a new film coming out with Julianne Moore that I need to check out, but she is great. I mean, I loved her in Jackie. That was a very controversial performance. She was nominated for an Oscar. She could have won, but she lost to Emma Stone in what that film was that everyone just thought was so great. La La Land, overrated. Clearly, Moonlight was better. La La Land was okay. It was okay. I have thoughts. But anyway, she lost to Emma Stone, which was a bummer, because Emma Stone, in my opinion, was just not that, I mean, she was okay. I don't know. I have thoughts. I have so many dirty thoughts. First of all, I want to hear a crazy thought. Viola Davis that year won for Best Supporting Actress in Fences. And I hear that there was some category messing around, because they put Viola Davis in supporting actress category so she could secure an Oscar, because if they put her in the lead, they were worried that Emma Stone was going to win, which she did, and that it would knock Viola Davis out of an Oscar win. So in order to procure the Oscar win, they put her in a supporting category, which she won easily, hands down, but she really should have been in the lead actress category. There's always that category fraudness that happens in the Oscars all the time. Like, they'll put one role as a supporting when it should be a lead, and I hate to see it, because I'm like, that really wasn't a supporting role. That was a lead role. Why are y'all playing? We see category fraud happen a lot in films. And so it's been interesting. But I could talk about that another day, but it just made me think. But anyway, loved, Natalie Portman. I saw a film when I was super young called Closer. It had Julia Roberts, Jude Law, Clive Owen, and Natalie Portman. Now, in a film with Jude Law and Julia Roberts in the lead, how does Natalie Portman and Clive Owen, as supporting actors, eat? They both got Oscar nominations for that performance, their performances. They both won the Golden Globe, which was incredible. But then they ended up losing to Cate Blanchett in The Aviator. She played Audrey Hepburn, Katharine Hepburn in The Aviator. And then Clive Owen lost to Morgan Freeman in $1 Million Baby. Look, both of those losses Morgan Freeman has never won an Academy Award until then. He should have won for the Shawshank Redemption, in my opinion. He was a great actor. But at the end of the day, he won Best Supporting Actor for $1 Million Baby, which he was incredible in. And Cate Blanchett won for Blue Jasmine years later. I mean, she was also incredible in The Aviator as, Katharine Hepburn, who dated Aviator, okay? Aviator Howard Hughes, who was played by the legendary Leonardo DiCaprio, who was nominated for Best Actor. And let me say this real quick. That was the year that Jamie Foxx won. And I will still say to this day that I felt like Leonardo DiCaprio should have won for The Aviator. I think he should have beat Jamie Foxx for Ray. I think Ray was a great film. People are going to hate me for saying this, but I feel like if you would have watched The Aviator, Leonardo DiCaprio killed it. He should have won Best Actor that year, not Jamie Foxx. Sorry. Jamie Foxx was great. A nomination would have been enough, but I just feel like the level of character, like development and investment from Leo should have been that year. He should have won for The Aviator. Go and watch it. It was a Martin Scorsese film, and Martin Scorsese should have won Best Director. But moving along, there's these Grammy nominations that got me so excited for various reasons. For starters, I mean, SZA has the most nominations. She has 9 nominations out of every artist. I mean, I thought there was going to be a Taylor Swift nomination. It still was a pretty good Taylor Swift situation altogether. But, I mean, what can I say? You know, It's Me. Hi. I loved it. I mean, she got all the major ones. Album of the year, song of the year, record of the year. So Taylor Swift got 6 nominations. SZA got 9. Album of the year, record of the year, song of the year for Kill Bill, for SOS. Miley Cyrus surprisingly got an album of the year nomination. Janelle Monáe got an album of the year nomination for the Year of Pleasure or something. I was surprised about that. Flowers got Song of the Year, Record of the Year nominations. Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For the Barbie soundtrack that people arguably got snubbed for Album of the Year because of all the Grammy nominations it got in multiple categories. But there was a lot of big surprises. Coco Jones got nominated for Best New Artist alongside of Ice Spice and Victoria Monet, who got a surprise Record of the Year nomination for On My Mama. It's hot. The women dominated. A lot of women, Miley Cyrus, Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, who got multiple nominations as well. Taylor Swift, SZA, Victoria Monet, just lots of love across the board for women in music this year. Some snubs. Big snub a lot of people were talking about was Morgan Wallen, you know, the guy who said the N-word, the country singer. He only got 1 Grammy nomination, even though his album and his single, one of his singles did really, really well on the Billboard charts. And in my book, The Case for Cancel Culture, I did talk about him and talked about how his career had a weird ebb and flow. It seems like his career commercially is doing well, but critically acclaimed, as far as the Recording Academy, not so much. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that people are still not okay with what he did. And you know, the industry has an interesting way of showing it. What other snubs? There was no major Latino artists. You know, we saw the Bad Bunny, era last year. This year, they weren't really shown any love. Country didn't really have a moment in any of the major categories as well. It just seemed like it was a heavy pop year, a very heavy pop R&B. Even hip hop didn't really do too much this year. Coi Leray got nominated for Players in the general rap category. Nicki Minaj, Barbie World got nominated alongside Ice Spice. Victoria Monet just really crushed in the R&B category, as well as SZA did, and Coco Jones, which was really refreshing to see female R&B artists back again on the charts, back again in nominations, because for a long time it seemed like a lot of men were dominating R&B. We also saw, and this is also incredible, we got a chance to see a really big moment, one that really surprised me, was Summer Walker getting a Grammy nomination. A lot of people felt like she was snubbed in the past, but her latest album got nominated finally. I know my good girl Amanda was super excited about that, but Grammy nominations are pretty good. I hope I can go again next year in 2024. We'll see, knocking on this little wooden piece right here, but it would be nice to see that, but we'll see. Also nominated, another great win, another good, pleasant surprise. Ed Sheeran, his recent album got nominated Best Pop Vocal Album. That was interesting. Billie Eilish got 6 nominations for really one song. The song, another feature she did, but mostly all of it was coming from this Barbie song, which I think she's going to get an Academy Award again for Best Original Song, because that was just impeccable. But yeah, it was a fairly good year. Now, one big snub that I want to talk about was Sexy Red. Where is the Sexy Red love? She gave y'all Pound Town. She gave y'all Ski. She gave y'all a bunch of good little songs, and no one showed no love to her this year. The Grammys really played my girl Sexy Red. I felt like she could have got something in one of the rap categories. I just was surprised by that. But overall, I thought they were pretty good overall. Um, Last but not least in music, Nicki Minaj is on the front cover of the December issue of Vogue magazine. I gotta admit, she looked good. Nicki looked good. Nicki ate. Nicki ate. I ain't gonna hate. Nicki ate. It was interesting. She talked a lot about motherhood, her career. She didn't really talk about her husband, Kenneth Petty, the one who has had a lot of controversy. She really steered away. I feel like her team is like, look, girl, you got one more shot before it's gonna get real bumpy. Queen that album rollout was a mess, but this album rollout for Pink Friday 2 has been okay. The singles haven't really done that well in the charts per se, but the enthusiasm seems to be there. We'll see. But a Vogue cover is a big damn deal. I mean, I don't know any female hip hop artist who has been on the front cover of Vogue. I really can't recall. I mean, look, people always said that Lil' Kim should have been on the front cover in her prime, at the height of her career. So, Nicki pulling it off is, I mean, if anybody was to be, it would be Nicki. Nicki has been on the front cover of Elle, I believe Glamour, other magazines, Harper's Bazaar in the past, other magazines, but Vogue is coveted. It's coveted. So, pretty big damn deal. As far as TV goes, I'm excited about The Crown. November 16th, y'all. I'm binge watching it. I gotta watch part 1 of season 6, which is the final season of the entire Crown. Man, that show is good. Okay, this is about Princess Diana. We're gonna find out the conclusion of Princess Diana. I mean, history told us the conclusion, but this has been really well acted and really done well. I haven't seen a Diana story done in a cinematic way that has been this good. There's been some really corny biopics. There was that god-awful musical that came out. But this has been good. The Crown has done a really good job. So much that the royal family has been sending tons of complaints in the British tabloids about it, and the damn thing has not been seen by the public. So I want to see what all the fuss is about on November 16th. I'm super excited about that. I've been watching my shows on Zeus. Jocelyn's Cabaret Reunion has been very ratchet. They got Jess Hilarious co-hosting this time. I don't like Jess Hilarious, and she's not really bringing anything to this. Honestly, they don't really need it. Jocelyn brings all the entertainment herself, especially with her really ratchet castmates. So I don't know why Jess Hilarious is there, but honestly, it has been nothing but fights and ratchery. And I have to admit, this has been a little, I don't want to say underwhelming, but it's just getting so predictable. Like everybody's jumping off the couches fighting. But it's just, it's good TV. Speaking of reality TV, I'm in love with a new show that is out on E! Y'all have probably heard about it, seen clips on social media. It's called House of Villains. All of the legendary reality show stars, except one non-legendary person, Bobby Lights. I don't find him entertaining. But Omarosa, New York, and other people from all your favorite reality shows, all the quote-unquote bad guys of reality TV on one show. And they're in one house. And it is good TV. Okay? Let me tell you something. Tiffany New York Pollard from I Love New York, from Flavor of Love, she's an icon. And she reminds us all why she's an icon. Because the way she gathers Omarosa, I won't tell all the show, but it's very interesting that Omarosa went from reality TV to the White House back to reality TV. But that's what happened when you fucking around with Donald Trump. For real. Just to be honest. But, I'm following it. It's still going. I kind of don't know if I want to DVR and watch it all together and binge it, or if I want to stay on watching it week by week. So I'm still in influx about what I want to do, but it has been really good so far, and it is a nice escape from the love and hip hop world of reality TV. And, lastly, I just want to say that I really have a big story coming out for the December issue of Philadelphia Magazine. Y'all are not ready for it. It's about to be really epic. I've been keeping this under wraps for quite some time. I won't tell you what it is until it comes out, but I want y'all to stay tuned. It is something I've never done before, something I thought I never would do, but I stepped outside the box, and this is a very interesting interview and story. You are not ready for it, and that's all I'm going to give y'all for now. But thank you all for tuning in. This has been a really great weekend, a really good season. And there's more to come. And as always, be well and be best.
Earnestly Speaking is recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. To stay up to date with the latest on the show, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Mr. Ernest Owens. Use the hashtag Earnestly Speaking to tell me what you thought about this episode, and check out my website at ernestowens.com.